Namaste everyone, I'm your co-host Shravani ma'am. Welcome to your favorite learning channel. The topic for today's video is protective tissue cork. So in our previous video, we had studied that there are two main types of protective tissues. One is called the epidermis and the other one is called the cork. So in our previous video, we had discussed about epidermis in detail and today we will be looking at cork tissue. Okay, so this cork, what is it? So cork is a type of protective tissue and it is also called phloem. Okay. So what happens as the plants grow older, what happens? The outer protective tissue that is epidermis of the stem, that is the epidermis of the stem, it gets replaced with secondary meristem, and this is called the phloem, or it is also known as the cork cambium. Okay. So the cells on the outer side or the outside are cut off from this layer. Okay. So what happens? The cells on the outside, they are cut off from this layer. Okay, and this results in the forming of several layer thick cork or the bark of the tree. So the cells of cork are, or we can say that cork cells are dead cells. They are dead, they are rectangular in shape, okay, which are compactly arranged without the intercellular spaces. Okay. Then the cells of cork have a chemical. So the cork cells, they have a chemical substance, and what is this substance called? This substance is known as suberin. Okay, so the suberin is present in the walls of the cork cells, which make these cells impermeable. This makes cells impermeable to water. Okay, so the cells of cork do not contain protoplasm but are filled with resins or tannins. So cork cells, they do not have protoplasm. Okay, so they do not have protoplasm but are filled with resins or tannins, but they lack protoplasm. So now let's see what are the characteristics of cork cells. So first we can say that the cells of cork are dead at maturity. So these cork cells, how are they? They are dead when at the stage of maturity. Then the next characteristic feature is that these cells are compactly arranged. They are compactly arranged cells. That means they do not have any intercellular space. Then these cells do not possess possess intercellular spaces. Okay, then these cells they possess a chemical substance called suberin. They possess suberin in their cell walls. Okay, then we can say that there are several these cork cells. They are several layers thick. Okay, so their thickness is of several layers. So these are the main characteristic features of the cork cells. Now let's talk about the functions. Let's see what are the functions performed by the cork cells. So the main functions of cork cells we'll discuss here. So to protect the plant, the main function is to protect the plant from what? From desiccation, infection, and from mechanical injury. Then the next function is, due to the properties of cork cells, the corks are used as, due to its properties, the cork cells are used as what? They are used as insulators. They are used as insulators. They can also be used as shock absorbers and in sports goods. Okay. Then the presence of suberin, due to the presence of suberin, what happens? This makes them impervious to gases and to water. Okay, so these are the main functions performed by the cork cells. Now let's quickly revise everything that we have covered today. So today we discussed about the cork cells in detail. So this cork is also called phloem. So what happens, as the plants grow older, the outer protective tissue, which is the epidermis of the stem, they get replaced with the secondary meristem, and this is known as the phloem or the cork cambium. So the cells on outside, what happens? The cells on the outside, they are cut off from this layer and then they form several layer thick cork or bark. So the Cork cells are actually dead and rectangular cells which do not have intercellular spaces because they are compactly arranged. Then the Cork cells have a chemical substance known as suberin that makes these cells impermeable to water, and these cells do not have protoplasm but they are filled with resins and tannins. Then we discussed about the characteristic features of the Cork cells. So these Cork cells are dead cells. These are dead at the time of maturity. So they are compactly arranged cells and thus they do not possess any intercellular space. But these cells, they possess the chemical substance called suberin in their cell walls, and these Cork cells are several layers in thickness. Then we discussed about the functions performed by the Cork cells. So what happens? To protect the plant from desiccation and infection and mechanical injury, the Cork cells play an important role. So their main important role is to protect the plants from desiccation, from infection and from mechanical injury. Then, due to the properties of these cells, the Cork cells are used as insulators, shock absorbers, and they can be used in sports goods. Then, the presence of this chemical suberin makes the Cork cells impervious to gases as well as to water. So, these are some of the important functions that are performed by the Cork cells. So, I hope you all would have got some great insights by watching today's video. Please do not forget to like and share the video. Till then, thank you for watching.